In this video, we want to talk about a new opening tool that has come about. As of right now, the date is March 28th, 2022. So we're going to introduce this new tool to you guys. It's going to kind of replace some of these that I have here, like your iSCLACT and other things that we have used in videos. Rather than going through and re-recording all of the videos, we wanted to give you this video just in case you have the older equipment. You still have a video that fits your needs. And if you have newer equipment or want to purchase this equipment, then you too will still have the things that you need and the guided video that you need for your specific shop. So this right here is the new opening tool. So this is a versatile opening tool for LCD screens. We got this one from Entered Gadgets, and there is a link below as to where you can find this specific tool. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And this is what comes with it. So you're going to have this piece right here. It has about 6 suction cups on it, if you can see that. It's got some spring assist in the back. And then it has this other piece here, and I'll show you how to use that in a minute. So essentially what you do with this particular tool is you want to still heat up your device. If you're using it on Apple products, you want to make sure that you are removing your pentalobe screw. And once that is done and you've gotten your device nice and warm, you can then use this to open up your screens. So we're going to go ahead and set this up so that it's ready for us to do that. Once you have a device that's heated up, all you have to do is match up this end. Okay, so this end has these 2 nubs. Okay, and you're going to match it up with this part here, which has a large bolt piece right here with a big knob on top. And you line it all up, get it lined in straight, like so. And then if we look on this side of it, there's actually these 2 nubs that you have to tighten down to ensure that this portion stays attached. Once that is all said and done, you use this knob here to crank, and it will begin to lift up this top portion so that you can actually release that adhesive that is holding your LCD down. So let's go ahead and take this apart, and I'm going to show you how to use this in real world. Pull that off. Okay, so I actually have 3 devices here. I have an iPhone 13, an iPhone 12 Pro Max, and an iPhone 8. Or 8 Plus, rather. So I've got them on my heating mat. They've been heating up. They're nice and warm for me right here. So we're going to go over how we can actually remove these screens. So it can prove a little bit difficult if you do have a cracked back glass or a cracked screen, but not impossible. It's just like using the other section. Sometimes it doesn't want to adhere to it, but the good thing about this device is you can actually move your suction cups wherever they are actually needed, so you can account for your cameras, you can account for if there is broken glass, you can account for where you want to start opening, so you can make sure you take into consideration where their flex cables are at. So it's really, really handy to use that. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side, and we're going to start with the iPhone 8 Plus. Okay, so this iPhone 8 Plus, I'm going to go ahead and remove its pentalobe screws. Okay, and so now it's ready for me to go ahead and begin to open it. So as I said, I'm going to take this jig right here. Okay, and I'm going to take my phone, and I'm going to line up these bottom ones wherever I want them to be first. Set it on there, and I'm going to squish it down. Okay, make sure it's adhering well, and then you can go ahead and tighten these knobs on the underside, and that's going to also help with the adhesion process of these suction cups here. Next up, I'm going to adjust these. Now remember, whenever you're opening an iPhone, you always want to try towards the bottom first. That's the best place to begin the opening process. So I always like to orient my suction cup down towards the bottom. Tighten that all down. Once your phone is in place, you can then take the other little piece that goes on the end. We're going to slide this in here if we can. Okay. Tighten it down with these knobs once again. Now it doesn't want to tighten. Now you do need to be very careful. If you've seen some of our other videos, when I talk about the iSCLAC, I always show you where to hold your phone so you don't damage your flex cable. So you want to use it very gently and very slowly. Suction is a great aid in opening, but it also can be a little bit tricky and dangerous to navigate. So when you're doing this for the first couple of times, you need to be extremely cautious as you crank this piece right here, this knob, because if you crank it too fast, it could then cause your device to separate way too quickly and it could pop off, okay? And if it pops, it could damage your flex cables that are internal here. So I'm starting to already get a small gap. I don't know if you guys can see it lifting at all, but there is that small gap right there. So I'm going to actually take my playing card, my plastic playing card, and I'm going to just kind of insert it right here, and I'm going to start working my way around it just like this, just like I would if I was opening it the other way. Slow and steady. Okay. And see, I'm not twisting anymore on this knob. I'm just coming around where I have the gap already, and I'm inserting my plastic playing card to continue to sever that adhesive. Crank it a little more, not much. Now this being an 8 Plus, it still has an LCD, not an OLED, so you want to watch how much you actually use alcohol on this screen. Almost there. And you do need to, just like any other time you're opening up an iPhone, you need to make sure you're not going too deep. You want to stop at where those metal brackets are at inside. Alright, so once we've got a good handle on this, what I'm actually going to do is insert a playing card on this side and insert a playing card on this other side. Just like this. Now that might not want to stay because it's coming up so well, so we'll just set it like that. And now I'm going to release all of my suction. So you untwist these, you loosen these so that you can pull the section off really easily. I'm going to untwist these. Slide it off. And there you have it. Wiggle that top portion right here. And then it opens up like so. So same way that it would open with anything else that you were using to open it, you're still going from your right side to your left side, like so. But it just makes it a little bit easier and smoother of a process. So let's go ahead and try on some of these newer model phones real quick. I'm going to set this out of the way. And let's grab the 12 Pro Max. I'm going to check for my pentalobes. Now, when you are working on newer phones like the 12 series and the 13 series, the suction can take a minute on these because the adhesive is very strong and the screen is very thick. So you want to make sure that you are being extremely patient with this. And sometimes you're actually going to have to re-administer heat. So let's get this suction back down. Like that. So once again, once you suction it, you want to tighten it. Okay, let's check this side, make sure it's sectioned and tightened. Now this one I'll probably have to move. Let's try to get it to come up a little. Because it was on the camera, and you don't want it on the camera, it won't adhere very well. There we go. Now that that is set, stick this on here. Now once you get into your 12s and your 13s, they have all OLED screens, so we're actually going to be able to apply a little bit of alcohol. So I use this process so that my screen will come up a little bit easier. I just go around the outside edge dripping a little bit of alcohol before I begin this process. I'm not putting much, it's just a little tiny bit. Just like that. Okay, once that is done, these are tightened down. I'm going to go ahead and start cranking. As long as your 12 or 13 is really, really hot, this process does not take much time at all. Once again, you're just going until you get a gap going. Looks like I'm twisting the wrong way. There it goes. You're going to start to feel some resistance. You're going to be able to see some of the screen coming up. You don't want to go too fast because you will break this screen. I'm just kind of feeling around my edges. I don't know if you can see the screen actually lifting at this point. But these screens, like I said, are super thick, so you need to get them to come up just a little more, not much, just a little more. Alright, at this point I'm going to go ahead and stop my twisting because I can see my screen kind of bending slightly. I don't know if you can see that, but it's starting to bend slightly, and I've got a little bit of a gap forming on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of alcohol. Like that. And I'm going to grab my plastic playing card once again, and we're just going to try to sever some adhesive, that's all. Oh, it popped on this side. Let me turn this around so you can see it better. That corner right there came right up. Now the problem with this is we need to be extremely careful because if it popped on this side, that's where your flexes are in the 12 and 13 series. So what I'm actually going to do is set my plastic playing card right in that gap, and I'm going to remove all of the suction because if it's already starting to release on the side where my cables are, I don't want to keep cranking. It may sever those pieces, and we want to avoid that at all costs. Okay, so that came off. Got my bottom off. Let's loosen these off. Okay, once that is done, set that out of the way. Take my plastic playing tool, and we're still going to continue around the outside edge. This whole thing is coming up already. So this one here is going to open from right to left. Like so. And there you have this one is the 12 Pro Max. You saw how easy that was to open up in comparison to some other videos and stuff where you know that it is really thick and really heavy adhesive, so you want to make sure that you're being careful and you have to be patient with it. But this does cut the time really, really short when opening up these types of devices. So the last one I have here is the iPhone 13. We'll go ahead and open this one up as well. It has pentalobes. Set those out of the way. Okay. All right, so this one here, we're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing. I always like to put my screen facing upwards. I don't know if I stated that portion, but if you keep your screen facing upwards, you're going to have more of a chance of seeing what's happening rather than having issues and it pulling too far too quickly. So I'm actually putting this a little bit off center. And I'm doing that on purpose because I don't want to damage the cables on this. These screens are still extremely expensive, so if you were to damage the screen in a accident using this, then you're going to have to replace that screen, and that would not be fun. So I wanted to place everything. If you kind of look here, this is the top, this is the bottom, okay? So this is the right, this is the left. And remember, it opens right to left. So I have my section placed towards the left side so that I can start working on cranking up that side rather than this one, so I don't sever these cables over here. So once that is all good and secure, we are going to add this guy back in. Let's readjust him. Okay, let's see if that'll fit on there. Nope. Must have gone really high with that other one. There it goes. Insert both of those. There we go. Once that is slid in, once again, tighten. Once again, these right here, you can apply a little bit of alcohol. It is an AMOLED or OLED, depending on the device. All the way around the outside edge. Just going to crank slightly. And that side popped. That's what we want. Okay, so as soon as that popped, insert that playing card, and we're going to release. You've got to make sure you pay attention. You don't pull too hard on this, because if we do, it's going to damage that screen. So you do have to make sure you're going slow and steady with it. Open that up. We're going to grab these. Just kind of loosen those once again. Pop and pop. Go around that outside edge, making sure it's all loose and free. And there you go. An iPhone 13. So as I said previously, we will link a description and a purchase link below the video so you can actually go and buy this yourself. If you want to go ahead and introduce this into your shop, it is a really handy time saver, especially for newer devices. And I've even used this for Samsung devices to remove the back glass. Same process as removing the LCD, except for you can use a little bit more alcohol because you're just removing the back glass. So definitely worth the investment. I hope this video shows you how to use it precisely enough so that you know what you're doing if you purchase one. Thank you so much.